for YouTube videos right now. Everyone is telling us that you have to have solid B-roll in order to step up your video making game. So we've all seen those gorgeous shots of New York at sunrise or LA skate park. Well, maybe you live on the 99th floor of your apartment block and you don't have access to such gorgeous looking views. You might be thinking, how the hell am I supposed to create B-roll like those guys? Well, a gentleman called Peter McKinnon recently released an incredible video where he made some beautiful looking B-roll just by taking a step outside his office and filming his local intersection. Intersections are not normally known for their sexy beauty, but the way he filmed it, the angles he chose, and what he chose to focus on is what made the B-roll look incredible. But what happens if you're new to the whole B-roll game? You don't have the confidence right now to point your camera at passing traffic or people in the streets. Well, there's another option. One of the great things that good B-roll allows you to do is make the boring look exciting. Make the mundane look cinematic. Because B-roll aids the telling of your story. It gives you a transition between the thing you say you're going to do and the thing you are actually doing. You don't even need to leave your house to practice making good B-roll, let alone go to Venice Beach, Bali or New York. There are plenty of wonderful, boring things in your house that you can practice making look cinematic. For example, I am starving, I fancy fajitas, there's no one in this apartment to judge me getting up close and personal with a pepper, so let's crack on. Roll that B-roll. So what I hope that clip showed is that you can take something quite ordinary, something as simple as cooking up some fajitas, and turn them into a cinematic nugget of gold. I didn't need to leave the house, I didn't need any special lenses, I just needed to think of a few different angles, how I was going to play it, then put it all together on my timeline. So let's have a look at exactly how I did some of those shots there. First of all, we have the fridge. So what I did was put the camera inside the fridge, close the door, so that when I open it, I get the perspective of some of the items in the fridge. Now, whilst this is definitely not new, it is quite interesting. It's a quirky way of doing things. Then the close-up of chopping the peppers, a really nice looking shot. Just put the camera on a tripod, locked it off, set my exposure, told it where I wanted the focus to be, and went ahead and cut my pepper. Third, this cheeky little slow-mo shot of the pepper falling. Now my camera is not a £1,000 camera, it's just the Canon EOS M50, so it can only shoot 60 frames a second. So I can slow that down by 60% all the way down to 24 frames a second, so it's in line with the rest of my timeline. And it gives me a sort of slow motion effect. It's not quite 120 frames a second like the big guys are shooting at, but it's still good enough. Good enough to get the effect. Then again, getting nice and low, nice and close, keeping the aperture wide open so it gives us a good shallow depth of field, picking my point of focus and getting a really good, interesting angle on the frying pan and all the stuff that's going on in there. So it really is just about picking a couple of interesting, really different angles. And once you've nailed that, once you've practiced that with a few basic objects or tasks within the house, that's when you've got the confidence to go outside and start pointing your camera at people or objects or things in the street. So then when you're bending backwards over a lamppost to get a shot of a flagpole, you know that shot's gonna look great, and you don't care who's judging you doing it because you know that picture is worth it. So my point today is that you don't need to be in any fancy location. You don't even need to go outside to practice filming great B-roll. Take something boring, something mundane, something everyday in your house and practice filming that. Because when you're on your own or with friends or family, you're not going to get judged like the general public does, and you can build up your confidence levels. But practice doesn't have to be hectic and crazy. It can be in your own time and in the comfort of your own home. Try it and have fun filming some great cinematic B-roll. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, peace. Excuse me, I'm off to have a moment with my fajita.